We're affected by results. Whatever your current economic results, whatever projects you've launched, the results up until now, that affects you. The results you've had in the past, up until now, that's affected you. What you know, what you don't know. The accumulation of knowledge or the lack of knowledge affects your dreams, affects your future, affects your income, affects your bank account, affects your associations, affects everything. You've got to really be a student, study, so you can learn how to make wise decisions that'll give you the best chance to build for the future. When I talk to the kids in high school classes, college classes, that's the first thing I tell them. Get the information while you're here. Right? Nothing worse than being stupid when you get out of school. So get the information. Being broke is bad, but being stupid is what's really bad. And what's really, really bad is being broke and stupid. Nothing much worse than that, unless you're sick. Right? Sick, broke, and stupid. That's about as far as you can fall unless you're ugly, right? But surely that would be the ultimate, right? The ultimate negative life. Ugly, sick, broke, and stupid. Because if you're going to play the great drama game of life, the key is to keep measuring progress to see how you're doing. How's your health doing? How's your income doing? How are your investments doing? If you're building a house, how is it coming along? What's going on? Measuring progress. That's what we call the name of the game. Here's how we teach it to our children. You must make measurable progress in reasonable time. That's about as simple as you can put it to the kids. You're required to make measurable progress in reasonable time. Now, we must be reasonable with time. You can't say to someone every 5 minutes, how are you doing now? 5 minutes later, how are you doing now? The guy says, I haven't left the building yet. Give me a break. So 5 minutes to ask for a count or a measure is too soon. 5 years is too long, too late. Too many things can go wrong. So reasonable time. Here's reasonable time. 1, at the end of the day. Don't let more than a day go by what you check and measure some things. Count, measure, take a look at. So there's reasonable time. So make this note now. What is reasonable time? 1, at the end of the day. A conversation a father should have with his daughter today, because the magic is there. If he waits till tomorrow, the magic may be gone. Today. Next is a week. Make that note. Usually, we get paid by the week. Somebody adds up our value to the marketplace, out comes the check. The next week, somebody adds up our value to the marketplace, out comes the check. What I learned to do is to change my value to the marketplace so the check kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I didn't have to change the economy. I only had to change my stuff. Measure your own progress. Success is a numbers game. We demanded of our children, how many years do you want your child to spend in 4th grade? Approximately. About 1 year, right? You say, well, if they're nice kids, would you give them 3 or 4 years? You say, no. This is not a nice game. This is getting ready for the future. This is getting ready for the challenges and the opportunities. You can't linger in 1 grade more than 1 year. Now, make this note. The same should go for us as adults. Don't linger more than 1 year in 1 grade of learning. Adult, management, entrepreneurship, leaderships of all kind. Keep up the pace of learning. Okay. The numbers. So learn all you can. We're affected by what we know. So get the information. Don't be lazy in learning. Don't be lazy in going through the books, building your library, coming to classes like this consistently. Some of them will be so dramatic, your life will never be the same. Success is a numbers game. How many years do you want your child to spend in 4th grade? Approximately. About what? 1 grade. 1 year. Progress. 1 grade, 1 year. And you've got to set up your own measuring system. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. You set it up. Because society doesn't require you not have a heart attack. That you must require of yourself. Society doesn't demand that you build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through. That you must demand of yourself. So the government's not there to measure. Society's not there to measure. You must be responsible enough to measure yourself. How are you coming on this financial wall around your family? Nothing can get through. How are you doing? And whether it's a few pounds to lose, or whether it's a financial wall, or whether it's a growing office, whatever it is, find some ways to measure so you don't become disillusioned, thinking, oh, it looks okay, when it really isn't okay. Measure, check. Measure, check. It's the game to play. Once you've set up a project now, you want to turn nothing into something, now you must measure your progress. How are you doing? Here's how we teach it to our children. Life expects us to make measurable progress in reasonable time. Measurable progress in reasonable time. That is the game of life. So part of it is not just to set up the proposed project, but as we start working on it, we start measuring how we're doing. Measure. Count. Now here's the key. Face the truth. If you're only making this much progress, there's no use trying to kid the world, no use trying to kid anybody else, and especially don't kid yourself. If in a period of time you've only made so much progress, you just got to swallow hard and say, this is the truth. I've got to face it. Now, what could I do to start increasing my progress and make my health better, make my income better, make my investments better, make my value to the marketplace much better, get busy learning the second skill and the third skill and the next language and the next language to increase my value. I got to get busy and do that. See if you will do that. I promise you. One of the greatest motivating factors in the world is progress. And if you'll measure it, you'll get excited. It was your philosophy that got you here today. Right? Maybe 5 years ago, you wouldn't have attended a class like this. Hey, why waste the time? It's the same old stuff over and over again. So you didn't go. Then something happened, something changed. You decided, wow, now I understand just one good idea could multiply my income in my future by 2, by 3, by 5, by 10. All of that good stuff can happen. So now you attend everything you can. And if you consistently go to everything you can, make this note. Some occasions will be life-changing. If you consistently go to the sermon on Sunday morning, consistently go to the classes, consistently go to opportunities like this where good ideas are being discussed, some heavyweight ideas that can multiply your future dramatically, if you just keep consistently going. Some of the occasions will be ordinary, some will be standard, and some will be life-changing, depending on the timing. Who knows the timing and for this audience here today? Who knows? We've all heard the phrase, nothing so powerful as an idea whose time has come. Attend the meetings, you never know which one is going to change your life forever. You can't pick the one that's going to be life-changing. You just have to go to every one you possibly can. One meeting may seem rather ordinary. One presentation may seem rather standard. And then you attend another meeting and it's life-changing and you're never the same again. Remember that. Even the small little meetings at home. Don't be saying, I've heard all of that, I don't need to go. Go one more time, listen to one more story. Somebody's heartfelt, inspirational story could be the means of changing your life. You'll never be the same again. It's like having a lock that needs 4 numbers dialed in. Maybe before you got here today, you had 3 of those numbers dialed in. You've been looking now for that 4th number. And who knows? Not because I'm doing the seminar, but because, the occasion was right and the lights were right and the atmosphere was right. And the neighbors you discovered here in this seminar setting were right. And Jim Rohn said it as best he could, and that was right. And all of it came together. And for you, this becomes an extraordinary day. And you find today maybe that 4th number. And the lock comes open and there's the door for new prosperity, new surge in progress, understanding what you didn't understand before. And I hope for a lot of you today, this could be that fourth number. This could be one of those days you look back and say, that was one of the days that turned my life around. Whether it's a challenging day or a day like today. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. If you can multiply your value by 3, by 5, you can easily multiply your income by 3, by 5, by 10. But the key to doing it is to work hard on yourself. Now, that's why I mentioned this personal development part is learning multiple skills. If it would serve you, multiple languages, okay? Working hard on yourself. But here's the big challenge, working hard on yourself. Personality and temperament and mindset. We talked about culture, all the stuff necessary to individually be responsible, be a growing, attractive, powerful, skillful, communicating human being. And the world belongs to you. Now, to get others to do the same, that's part of the challenge. But these multiple skills can help you to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you sit down and rest too long, become complacent, we lose the way. If we take the past, if we're inspired by the future, work on the present, there isn't anything we can't accomplish. Next, we're affected by how we feel, attitude. This is the emotional part. We need the intellectual part to set sail. So as the winds blow, we can still get where we want to go. Redefine, keep strengthening our psychological and philosophical guidance system. But now we're also affected by the emotions. That's the power. Look out for the enemy that's on the outside as well as the enemy that's on the inside. Look out for your own thoughts that might deceive you, saying you're too short, you're too tall, you're too old, you've never done it before. What makes you think you can do it now? Beware of the thief on the street that's after your purse, but also beware of the thief in your mind that's after your promise. What is that little voice that says you're too short, you're too tall, you're too old, you've never done it before, what makes you think you can do it now? You must resist that with all vigor. I've told the story and it bears repeating. An ancient story that said there were two nice people. This is not a story of one bad person and one good person. The storyteller says this is a story of two nice people. However, and I want you to underline the word however, because that's the drama of life. However, one built his house on the rock, and the other built his house on the sand. And sure enough, the storms came as they always do, and the one that built his house on the rock was saved. The one that built his house on the sand was lost. Here's what it means. Nice people can make careless decisions. Nice people can make foolish decisions. None of us are above temptation. Tempted to cross the line. Stay on track. Build on the rock. Look out for your own thoughts that would tell you that it's not going to work that well for you. Look out for that. Now here's how the past becomes useful. Not to live in the past and not to dwell in the past, but to borrow the experience of the past, and then here's the second part, invest them in the future. We sometimes make the comment, he has a wealth of experience. And see, that's experience is wealth. What we've been through is a treasure. What we now know is so vital, not just to ourselves and our families, but to the people we're going to meet in the future and the ones we've helped to change their lives up until now. So the past is valuable if you gather it up and invest it now into the future. That's part of our exercise here these 4 days, remembering the past, using it as an investment for the future. Now here's the second one. We look back, yes, but now we look ahead. We look back for experience and we look ahead for inspiration, setting our goals, your family goals, your business goals, the person you wish to become, the skills you wish to develop, the people you want to meet, the places you want to go, the experiences you want to have, the person you wish to be. All of those goals are important. Here's what my mentor taught me when I was 25, for your notes. He said, if you have enough reasons, you can do the most incredible things. He says, Mr. Rohn, I think you've got the experience and you've got the skills and you certainly have the desire. Here's what you might be lacking, a long enough list of reasons. Reasons that drive you, reasons that get you up a little extra early, reasons that keep you up a little extra late, reasons that make you a team player, reasons that make you solve the dilemma of your own challenges and then start helping somebody else with their challenges. Reasons, that's what makes the difference. It's going to take some courage for some of you to settle your differences. It's going to take some courage for some of you to step out and lead the way. It's going to take courage for you to look inside and say, what do I need to correct within myself that'll make me a better person, a better leader? Looking inside is a courageous act. Finding some things that aren't quite to your liking, some things that you need to correct, some things that you need to do. I've had to do that now for all of these years. Because if you're going to tell the story to the public, often you've got to look inside and see if there aren't some corrections you need to make. But I'm asking you to have the courage to make those corrections. If you need to apologize to somebody, I'm asking you to have the courage to give that apology. It could work wonders, not only for you and for that person. If you have to take the first step, I'm asking you to have the courage to take the first step. Here's the next one. Look inside. Some of you have just started to develop your talents and your skills and your abilities. Some of you have done enough to reach this level, to reach these tables, to be in this room. But I promise you, if you go home and take another look inside, here's the question to ask. What else could I develop of my mind and my spirit and my talents and my ability that would make me more valuable to myself, to my family, to my organization? When Mark invited me 20 years ago to travel the world with him, that was the question I asked. Do you suppose this invitation would be an open door for me to refine my skills and talent and become vital and become valuable to whoever I might meet based on Mark's invitation and the Herbalife family? That turned out to be a wise decision on my part. What else could I do? How far could I reach inside for something I haven't found yet? And that unique experience at that time when Mark gave me the invitation is what has sustained me now these last 20, 21 years traveling the world for Herbalife. And I'm always proud to say when I'm introduced, yes, I'm Jim Rohn. I travel the world for Herbalife. Try to find your place, a place that could continually change as you grow and develop. When I first started, I wouldn't have been invited to be on this stage with this many people to listen, and take notes. I was not ready. It took me all of these years to get ready for this moment, for this place, for this time. Here's the next one. Look around. You might have overlooked some people that need to be recognized. You might have overlooked some talent that you could be using to help in the training and conduct meetings. Don't miss some of the gifts that are close by you. Look around and say, who's doing a good job that maybe I've missed this last year? Look around and see if there aren't some people who need to be lifted up, who need your inspiration, who need your presence, who need your time. Here's the next one. Look down to the work. Look down to the soil that's ready for the seeds of opportunity that you will share by your voice and your invitation and your language and your meetings, your presentation. Look down to the work. Look down to the task and see if there aren't some things you might have missed this past year you can pick up on this year. for yourself, for your future, for your organization. Next, we could all use a little help in coaching, which means pray for wisdom so that you'll have the answers to people's questions this year that you didn't have last year. You'll be better equipped to give those answers next year versus this year. So let us do the work. Now take these quick notes. Number one, constantly review your performance. All of us can use a bit of refinement. When I first started all those years ago, age 25, I was ambitious and a little reckless, and I needed some guidance and some help and some advice. Put this in your notes now. We could all use a little coaching, whether it's our style or whether it's our content or whether it's our performance or whether it's our social life, personal life. Review your performance. I've had to do this all of the time. This is about my, 43rd year of telling a story, trying to help people do better with their lives, learn, grow, change, develop. I don't want the day to come when someone says, you should have heard Jim Rohn 10 years ago when he was really terrific. I want someone to say, I heard him 10 years ago, but you should hear him now.